We're going on the record with DJ Ryan Vandal, a guy that we consider to be great at marketing himself as well as his understanding of performance through DJing in relation to bars, restaurants, and clubs. We all have different business models, and music plays a large part in all of them. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast through your platform. On the Record with DJ Ryan Vandal starts now. Oh, man. This is going to be delicious. Thank you so much, Rye, for bringing through some Sloop Juice Bombs.
Of course.
Coincidentally enough, they sponsor the show. You've made a great, fantastic choice here.
Beautiful choice. Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I think this is cool, too, because, you know, how many conversations have we had now? We've talked coffee. We've had business owner restaurant talks. We've done
a couple of different chefs
architectural talks. We've had chef talks. And someone's like, why the hell are they interviewing a DJ? What is this?
Well, why? Because have you ever walked into a restaurant that isn't playing any music?
No.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, exactly. But we've got Ryan Vandal here today. Welcome.
What's up? How's it going?
This is a spectacle to have you here, and I think we're going to talk a lot about the various things that you're definitely an expert in, and one of that is DJing. One of those other things I think personally is branding, right? Like,
yeah.
You started off branding yourself at the end of the day, which is how you formulated this whole thing.
I did, and I think, you know, being a DJ or any business owner, you have to kind of do a lot of things when it comes to branding and marketing. You have to be your own machine, you know, until you're able to get 5-6 different people working on your brand or your business.
So do you have a team that's helping out in all these various channels?
I do, but it's still always a struggle because, you know, I always have to be on top of it, make sure everything's going well.
Well, sure.
And I mean, you've been doing it since you were a kid.
So I was 10.
Yeah.
10. Yeah.
It's insane. At 10, they were like, he's going to be a prodigy DJ, guys. But
I definitely remember seeing your wrapped van like years and years ago, like right after high school. I remember seeing that parked outside places.
A lot of people honking. I was always mad, and then I was like, oh, can I curse on here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Ask that
now I'm just going to put a bleep on every single thing you say, just for fun.
So, yeah, people were just honking at me, and I got so annoyed, and then I said, honk if you need a DJ. I always just forgot that. But yeah, it was cool. That was a funny thing.
So, like, we'll touch on it quickly, though, and you had a love for music as a kid, I presume, and that essentially evolved into getting a pair of CDJs or maybe some Tech 1200s, right?
Yeah, I was like in the theater, the arts, kind of, you know, singing and dancing and whatnot when I was young, and then it kind of just transpired into DJing. I took, like, turntable and my neighbor's records and just started scratching because my parents would get pissed if I started scratching on their records.
So you found the Hall & Oates album next door and you were like, let me scratch on that.
She had some weird shit. Yeah, it was like classical and I made it work. I learned how to scratch from that, I guess.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And there's a couple different types of scratches at the end of the day. Not to go super deep into the DJing side of things, but you get the crab down, right?
Yeah.
What's that sound make?
Yeah.
This is what I love about DJs is they make these sounds nonstop. It's fantastic.
So then what else you got? What other sounds you got?
What's some of the other scratches? I know the crab one. That's the only one I remember.
Oh
man, there's so many. I'm horrible with names. I wish we had turntables. I could just kind of show you.
Do you? And in the evolution of the way music has gone, I had a pair of 1200s, right? And that's that was the standard for so long.
I still use them.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh wow. And then CDJs kind of came along, and people were like, well, I don't have to carry crates anymore, right?
And then CDs, too. There were CDs, right?
Yep, totally. And then the Serato box popped out of nowhere.
That was like the best thing and the worst thing, I think, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Because it made it so much more accessible to people to be able to just be a DJ now by getting this box and plugging it into a laptop. And, I've got all this music. Now I figured out how to do it. And then having a Serato box make things more accessible to people, did that start hurting the DJ as far as getting gigs? And
I think in a way it kind of just, it's like everyone can be a DJ. So as far as like this is just my opinion, I think talent there's been a big loss for talent in like the DJ world as a whole because anyone could pick up and get a gift for their Christmas or holiday and kind of do, hey, I'm going to be a DJ. So yeah, I think that, you know, people building a brand now is super important. I think there's a lot of less talent out there, personally, because of that.
And
I think that kind of makes sense. This is the same thing that happens with a lot of things. As soon as it becomes easily accessible for like the masses, everybody dips their hand into it, and then it just all becomes watered down. Same thing happened with photography. I used to consider myself a photographer. Now everybody has a freaking camera in their pocket, so everybody's a photographer. You know what I mean?
And apps like Adobe Lightroom come about, or Photoshop, that just make things so much easier for you to actually
You need
produce
less
a nice photo.
knowledge and skill to do what used to be a hard task.
Exactly.
You basically need to be everything, right? You need to market it, you need to brand it.
Yeah.
You need a whole kind of team. You need to be a one-man team.
And that's
one-woman team.
That's with every business though too. And now you do own your own business, and it is an entertainment company.
That's correct.
So doing that too, you have to have a team around you that's able to help get everything in order, whether it be the sales side, the marketing side, or the execution, showing up on the scene to actually deliver what is needed for that event, right?
Yeah, I think that a lot goes into it. Just like, you're not getting booked for 4 hours to do an event. You're getting the legwork is going to be months and months of preparation, and you need everybody. The DJ isn't going to be doing the lights, and the MC is not going to be whatever it might be, taking photos. So it's definitely cool. It's cool to have the diverse type of events and have a good team behind me that I can trust to do the really, really cool events. So it took me traveled the whole world, basically. Well, not the whole world, but a good part of it.
There's been huge growth over the last 10 years, I think, at least, right?
Yeah.
In saying that too, you do a handful of different type of things. You definitely started off doing more bar work, I think, right? Showing up to whatever the local pubs are and throwing a Friday night, Saturday night party, to then now graduating somewhere, doing some radio in between there, just a little Shade 45, showing up.
Yep, Shade 45, some interns, some help work, some guest DJing. I was on Desert Storm with The Clue for a while, and kind of just I was interning for Enough. Shouts to Enough. I was at Hot 97. That was cool.
Did
it's all just finding my lane. A-list, yeah. Yep. Did you read my bio? He must have
I used to sleep on that A-list radio couch for like 4 hours before going in to do the boards for the shows.
Dope.
But yeah, that journey, you start learning one thing and it tumbleweeds into learning more. And as time goes on, you take those previous learnings and you apply them to new things, which is how you develop your own business at some point, because you've already taken your burns previously down the road.
Exactly.
Where then you can say, okay, this is how we do this. I need invoices for this. I need to send these out appropriately, or I have to follow up and get paid.
100%. You find what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, what you don't want to do. I didn't want to get on the radio side of things, just specifically, but I know people that want to do that, and they've been doing that extremely well. So just kind of finding what I'm good at, what I'm not good at, and this is what I like to do for my career. This is my career, so I think finding the journey definitely helped me kind of figure out where I want to be and all that. So it was cool.
That's important too with ownership too, where you said finding what he's good at, what he's not good at. You have a partner, Just, in Smokehouse, and I'm sure you're both not equally good at the same things.
No, and when we started, we had, same like you just said, we had to figure it out. We were both doing both things all the time. We realized Mike is better in the back, I'm better in the front. We split that up.
It was a good decision making.
It was a good decision. So once you figure out what you really want to do, you're much better at it.
Right, how each partner add value, and each to their strengths and weaknesses. Yeah. I've had a couple partners sometime, and it doesn't work out. It's tough. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
Well, you've been popping up everywhere, because in the last couple months, I've been seeing on my story, someone's at a party, and then all of a sudden, there you are. They're like filming the DJ, and like, look at this DJ, he's killing it. And I'm like, oh, I know that guy. That's my boy right there.
That's funny. Yeah, when we go way back. I'm a huge burger, beer person, so Smokehouse, that's the spot right there.
So we were just talking about this a little bit earlier too, and that's content. In finding, we were saying that we do these events, sometimes they won't bring direct monetary value back to the company itself, but you're doing these events to get content at the end of the day, because this is the world that we're living in now, is that we just eat things up so quickly that we just need more, we need more, we need more.
Yep.
So
it's never ending.
In you doing these events too, how important is it for you to be getting photos taken while you're doing this, or running around with a photographer or videographer to cover the events that you're actually doing?
So I think content's huge. I think that you have to find your lane and exactly what you want to do. we try, at least in my company, to do like, the high end work and mostly do that, and that's kind of all we try to do. But also, you have to do other jobs that may not be at the margin that you want. I don't want to be the Walmart of weddings or mitzvahs or sweet 16s. Also, that's not what I really want to brand it anyway. So I think it's just, there's definitely times to do it. There's definitely time. I always say you're never too big to do something for free or to show love to people that you care about. And, if I'm free, I'm always going to do something to help out. So when you get really busy, I guess that's different, time. But if you have the time, I say, why not? Did that answer your question?
Yeah. Now don't ask me any more fucking questions.
Need the fucking horn or something, sound effects.
No, you're good. No, but the people listening to the show too they're guys that own businesses,
right?
Restaurants or bars, whatever it is, or people that serve or bartend in this industry too. And a lot of things that they don't realize is they are their own brand. And they are selling themselves also. They're attached to the business that they work at. So if they're not really pushing and doing the social media to get the attention back in the current landscape of the world that we live in, then it hurts them a little bit because they're not actually getting their reach out as far as they could be or pulling in as much business as maybe they could be as well.
It's definitely true. Yeah, there's so much business out in the content world and through Instagram and social media. The amount of DMs I get when just people say, "Oh, I was at this party, you were DJing it," or I bet you get a lot of stuff. Hey, I found out through Smokehouse through a friend or someone's Instagram. That's how it is. But some people just don't want to get on that wave. I think it's going to hurt them a lot if they don't.
In our current landscape,
and currently how it's going, right?
Totally, and it's almost sad. I'm so anti Web 3.0 world that we're in. I was going to say simultaneously, just hates when I say simultaneously, but simultaneously it's important.
Yeah, no, it is.
Just does call me and he goes, where's my video? And I go, my hands are tied. I can't just sit on Final Cut and rip down a video real quick. Always, I try.
I think you make it harder than it seems.
See, that's the thing. You don't know. You don't know the struggle.
Actually, you're right because I just watched you 30 minutes try to plug in some headphones.
Jay has struggles. He has problems.
Can you talk to Ryan? He's got a whole team around him just so he can get this thing done. Okay.
Do you have a set schedule to when you update your social medias? Is there a certain number of posts you try to hit each week?
So I'm so bad. Recently, I've been horrible with it. I had a personal photographer, a video guy. It gets tough because everyone's schedules are different, and I'm not trying to blow the bank every single day, even if I'm not doing an event and do that. But yeah, as far as the schedule, I definitely need to probably get more consistent with it. Going away for a month next week, so that should be cool. I'm trying to figure out how to do content there by not bringing a video person. So
start posting a Craigslist in that country, right?
Yeah, well,
somebody will want to do it.
Whatever you do, just don't hire this guy.
Some crazy guy.
I mean, the amount of free work that I've done throughout my life is to strengthen my resume at the end of the day. And I have 3 different resumes I could hand out to people. I could do a restaurant resume, I could do a radio resume, and then I could do a graphic design resume for all different work that's done.
And nobody knows what you got for what, or if it was
doesn't
free,
matter.
It doesn't matter, right?
It's just what was the work done? Who'd you work with?
Exactly.
We did Hot 97. We did A-List Radio. We did Shade 45.
There you go.
That's a strength in radio. As far as restaurants go, you work for all these notable places, and that's another topic I would like to hit on is when you're working for all these notable places, does it hurt you sometimes working for a bar that's maybe less known?
So...
Well, but you can always choose to leave something off your resume.
So that's the thing. Or also, there's a lot that I do that's not on my Instagram. I'm this is totally going to be all over it. But there's there's times you said it's a constant grind with the content. So you have to make a schedule, and some things you don't show, some things you do. And I try not to show just my highlights. I want people to know
right.
This is you own the business. There's been struggles and there have been great times.
Yeah.
That makes it more relatable and easy for people 100%. To get into.
Yeah,
you need to post relatable content, right?
Yeah.
Right. We do a big event with 1,500 people. That's all over the place. I do someone's backyard party with 20 people in it. I'm not really talking about that too much, but
right. And the way you can angle it, I think it's the way you angle it that you can actually put it on social media. There's a certain way to do it.
That's a good statement. Right? This dude is a marketer right here because that's only a statement a marketer would make. angle it in the way that it needs to be viewed to make it look attractable, right?
Right. Well, just attractable, appealable.
Appealing?
I make up words all the time.
Yeah.
It works. Someone out there is like, attractable. That's a good one.
If you don't question it, he says it.
You just let it go. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
But he kind
that kind of flew over my head.
he was questioning when he said it. I was like, no, I can't let you get away with that.
So, but let's rewind a little bit here, right? In getting to know you here, Newham's just said that, yeah, you had a rap van.
I did.
How old were you when you had the rap van?
I want to say I was in 11th grade.
There were not guys running around with rap vans.
And the only people that were people like, shouts to Camilo and, shouts to Heavy Hitters and shouts to all the people.
Heavy Hitters is DJ Crew, by the way.
In case you didn't know.
Well known, yeah.
Yeah, they probably didn't know.
They probably didn't.
They had no idea.
You say Camilo, he's talking about DJ Camilo,
So-
DJ Enough. These are big DJs that have been around for a long time in hip hop world.
So yeah, I mean, besides there was like DJ Magic, he had a car show. I did a lot, really kind of dipped into a lot of different, like I was like my name was Lil Rye at the time, so I had like a hip hop kind of vibe. I was doing strip club. It was kind of just like, all right, what the fuck is this guy doing? So I had to rebrand, and that's kind of where I am today.
I definitely remember seeing that little red truck outside of Old Smokehouse before the renovations.
Yeah.
Like back when it was like a lunch counter.
So
the
we
little
should,
red truck would be right out
don't
front.
breeze over the truck, right?
No,
Like,
the truck was great.
This was the
I'm actually
earliest.
rewrapping it.
Well, this is the earliest.
Wait, does it still
aspect
say
of
Lil
branding.
Rye on it?
No, I had to. Once I first, the picture was probably like, I don't know. It was so old. It's just, and the guy they fucked up on the wrap, so like they messed up the Photoshop, so it looked like I was like bottom of a strawberry. Like it looked great. Like I hated it, but I was like, all right. It took like 3 months to do. I said, all right, whatever. Let's just put it out there, and it worked. I mean, yeah, it's cool marketing, right?
Nobody was paying
absolutely.
attention to the photo on it as much as you think, right?
Well, the
We're
left
always
side
at
was
worst
better than
for
the
it.
right side, but I had a, so
Yeah,
it was
specific
always
sides.
a problem. Yeah, so I had to try to, see what I was parking, what angle. Back to the angles.
So, in those earliest terms, were you just kind of emulating guys that were already doing what was perceived successful or maybe successful to that point where you said, all right, this is a good idea in marketing, let's wrap the truck?
Yeah, and I think that
Right.
it was. I mean, it was definitely a lot of money for being, young, and not even money, a risk. Kind of just okay, cool. I'm gonna put my fucking face on a van and just drive everywhere, and my office number on it, and all my Instagram. Instagram wasn't at the time. It wasn't out yet. So Twitter and BBM, the BBMs used to go crazy.
BBMs.
But it's a kind of like a vulnerable
right.
thing, putting all your information, your face, and driving around in a fucking van. Most of the time I wasn't driving it, so like it'd be other people.
Found a
and
homeless guy, like, yo, you want a
that
job?
was it. Yeah, I paid him like $1 a day, and it was all good. But yeah, no, that was definitely one of the part of the journey. That was fun. It was a lot of good times.
So that's an easy aspect in getting a name out there. And restaurants do this too. Bars do it too. They wrap their trucks. Just you're wrapping a truck right
He's
now.
got a wrap truck right now.
That's
Yeah.
dope.
It's taking like 3 months to do. But
Oh, it's still not even done yet.
No.
Oh,
At the end of the day, he'll have it though, and
Yeah.
it'll be driving around town or parked somewhere and absorbing tickets if you
Right.
forget to
Yeah,
pay
absorbing
the
tickets.
meter. We have meters out here where we live. You got to pay those.
Yeah,
But
for sure. I'm the
so
worst.
in branding and doing this, you said, all right, we're wrapping the truck because we have to get people to know that I'm doing this, and there's a
Right.
number on there. Come back to me on MySpace, whatever it was at that time.
Yeah,
BBM.
it was my BBM, MySpace. Yeah,
and
yeah.
then also you had a website then being built out at the same time.
So
I guess.
much money on websites. I don't know why. It was a thing, right? It was something about marketing and showing what. See, that's funny, right? Because so I can show you the actual site, but yeah, it's fucked up. So I hate
just
that
pointed,
picture.
I just pointed out the website we had on the big screen for him.
So obviously that's like a splash page.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's important. So for example, if someone Googles my name, they look it up, whatever they're gonna see, that's not really a website. But I think it's important to, me doing this tour. I think it's important that people only know what they see, right? So I'm in
Right.
front of their face with a van, and now I changed my name, right? And that's it's confusing. So I think if I was giving advice on like some type of marketing or branding, stay consistent. And I had to change my name just because it wasn't the vibe I was looking for. It was almost hurting me than doing any good.
That also leads me into another thing I want to talk about too. As somebody that does graphic design, I like to look at branding and logos as my dominant area.
Right.
So to see you evolve as somebody DJing and a public figure, so to speak, too, is you shed the Lil Rai look to have also a more modern persona, really, at the end of the day.
Yep.
And rebranding to something that's more current to the times. And a lot of times when I do design work, I'm trying to look ahead to see what will last longer than something that's just going to be there for a year and then say, that's just a trend.
That's
going
smart
to
that
change.
you do that. Smart that you do that because a lot of people don't. That was just a nickname that I got, the first name, so it was kind of stuck with me.
Well, you were 10.
I was 10, right? No, yeah. So literally, it was, they just called me. I don't think I was much bigger than I am now, so they're like, oh, Little Ryan, and it kind of stuck. And then the Ryan Vandal thing, it's cool. It could go, corporate, it can go whatever, nightclub, I'm not putting me in a box. So
And that's important. And not only that, but Ryan Vandal doing a show at Vandal is a riot to me.
that was funny.
Vandal is
That
a
actually
New York
happened?
City club.
That was amazing. That was last year for my birthday.
Nice.
Who approached who in that situation?
They approached me.
That's
Good for
great.
you.
Yeah.
They were like, "This
Yeah.
is gonna be a great situation. We got a DJ that was built for this place."
Yeah, no, it was super. It was a fun time, and it was very weird because they're like, "Wait, what?" People just were hitting me up. Ryan Vandal. Wait, I'm super confused.
So when we talk about social media and bars and restaurants getting their stuff together as far as perception to the public and utilizing these tools that are kind of built in to generate what's the word I'm looking for? Clientele,
Just make it
revenue
up.
streams.
Make it
Just make it up.
Is there something that you can tell these guys that are listening that are looking to brand themselves maybe equally as well? When you guys see Ryan Vandal and see everything that he's put out, you're going to say this is good stuff. This is quality, and this is maybe how we should be branding or look at branding our spots to generate more business and income. Is there something that they can do easily to just change perception?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I think we touched on being relatable, so I think that's super important. And having something as simple, like for just bringing up Smokehouse, that's just a simple logo. It's cool. People remember it. Ryan Vandal logo, it's cool. I mean, we were talking about like a restaurant. I mean, do something simple. Don't make it too complicated for people to understand. Make them think about it. My buddy, his name is DJ 4B. Just bringing it back to the DJ thing. You know how many 4Bs you see on the highway, traffic, exit signs, apartment numbers? Like, that's relatable. I love them, but if I didn't like them, I'd fucking see 4B everywhere, and I'd still be like, fuck this guy. But that's the homie. But yeah, it's that's kind of in your face no matter what. It was a very smart move on his part.
Are we to the point where we're shedding DJ from guys' names and just going with guys' names?
It's good and it's bad because
It's good as a search term, but it's terrible
when
as
people
like,
don't like. If you didn't say I was a DJ, I don't think people would know.
if you go through my phone and you go straight to the D and J after, it's a ridiculous list and it aggravates me.
I
Yours is
actually
the
want to
same.
show you. Yeah,
Totally.
yeah. There's a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Touching on that, I think that
You could scroll for a
That's
second.
that's like the same
Yep.
for each profession because my phone's listed with like chef. So it's like Chef Ethan, Chef Josh, Chef blah blah blah.
And that's also a signifier of what realm you live in
Yeah.
at the end of the day too. Just does yours say owner Chad, owner John?
Server.
Mine just goes
it's-
by restaurants, so it's a little easier.
I
that's
used to
fair.
work. I used to work for a guy that would look for female bartenders, obviously, to come behind the bar.
And he would write female bartender.
No,
As his
he
concept.
would not. He would put the name, and then he would put exclamation points. And the number of exclamation points that were after the name were how much he needs to get this girl behind the bar.
Oh my god.
everybody has their little tips and tricks. Shout out to Ryan Leslie. That's my boy. He has this whole kind of super phone app that is basically to connect with your fans. Like, so you can have a bunch of Instagram, Twitter followers, Facebook, whatever. If that went away tomorrow, let's say for a restaurant, if you can't text these people, you don't have their numbers, how are you going to reach them? So that's important. So going back to the whole kind of DJ thing, chef thing, I think you need to know, who you want to work with and who's, as far as your clients, as far as people that your vendors, your suppliers, whatever. keeping a really cool contact book and list of. You need to talk to. He says 30 people a day, but it really depends. Yeah, you need to keep in the know and be in the know of what people's doing, even though it's hard because we're in 2020 where like every second something new comes out.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Talking to 30 people a day.
I talk to 30 people by noon.
Well, they're
excuse me,
usually
Mr. Restaurant owner.
They're talking to him.
Yeah, well, they're calling him to get the bills paid.
Yeah.
Owner problems. But in talking to 30 people a day, that's kind of just opening yourself up to create new business, essentially, right? Or bounce off of somebody else.
Yeah. I mean, just kind of, you should be talking to people that you want to do business with and you're friends with, and yeah, I mean, I think it's important the community that you're in. I mean, in anything, you talk to a bunch of people. You have friends in airlines, friends in construction, friends in whatever.
So associate yourself in the right areas.
Yeah, why not? People should be helping each other. I think
it would be funny at A-List when one of the shows would bring in a guest that was in town, and then the next morning I'd wake up and go to Angela Yee's show on Sirius. And the guest would walk in and he'd be like, "Oh, Jay, what's up?" and Angela would be like, "Why do you know our intern?" I'm like, well, we were just hanging out yesterday at the other radio station.
That's it.
But it's important to surround yourself around the people that you need to be working with. And Nooms, I'm sure you send out messages to other chefs and be like, "Check what I just made."
No, I don't do that.
Did you not hear him talk to 30 people a day? This is.
I mean, maybe
I'm
I will.
Working on it.
Maybe I will. But
Does it count if you post a picture and 30 people look at it?
I mean, I do that,
Yeah.
but I don't like send pictures off to
I mean,
people.
it also
More
like
sincere.
it doesn't matter how many people like your photo or interaction. It's actually who actually does something about it.
Right.
That's why I think the followers and likes are kind of doesn't
Right.
really. It's looks all just like a smoke and mirror type of thing. People have to actually with the cell phone. Just touching on it because it's easier. We were texting like 1, 2, 3. You know.
We were talking about that earlier. It's more about engagement than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be it's a quality over quantity type of deal. Yeah.
So
So
you get somebody to react, whether it's coming into the restaurant and react to food, or on Instagram and share it with somebody, or if they see you at a party and they decide, you know what, I'm going to take a video of this guy and send it to all my friends. That's the quality part.
Yeah.
Of it.
yeah, that's
You
definitely
did
helps.
something to make them react. So.
Well, you see it. Someone was there. They saw
Yeah.
me DJ. Then they were friends with you. Then they reposted it or something.
Right.
And
It's
you
called
saw
the
it.
tumbleweeding effect.
That's it.
which
It's
is
domino
very
effect.
important. Yeah.
Or tumbleweed, yeah.
How much are you now out marketing like yourself in the sense of going to jobs trying to get a job, or are you more getting requests in?
So I think there's a little bit of both. Yeah, I mean, I'm the one. I'm not the one to say like, oh, I don't. I'm really behind it full force. It may not look like it, like because I'm always out DJing, but I'm definitely front and center when it comes to trying to find the right brands you want to work with, or the marketing, or sending out hundreds of emails a day, and it's
Well,
crazy.
I hope so. You have all day to do it. I mean, you're working at night.
That's it. Then it comes into the segue of owning a business, being a DJ, and also being a dad, a single dad. So that in itself is a balance. So dealing with that is pretty cool.
Now, so put yourself back in, I guess, 18 to 22-year-old Rye shoes.
I was upset for sure.
Well, it's like you're trying to get the gigs.
Well, I was always pushing. I was always pushing to do more. Like I had
You
these
should.
stupid little goals in my head. It's like, all right, by 19, I'm gonna do this. By 20 or by 21, but like it didn't happen. I think it was never a clear. It was never a clear goal.
Yeah, but shoot for the stars and land in the moon.
You're right. You're close, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly. And I feel that heavily. But in that point, too, you're saying, all right, I need more bar gigs maybe because that's how money comes in.
Right.
And how do you go about, and we're speaking to everyone out here that might be pulling on DJs or whatnot, how do you go about getting that business?
Well, I think music plays a big part in restaurants and bars and nightclubs as a whole. So I think telling those people, and you're actually adding value. So depending on what they want to do at the night, I don't know whether they're selling, they're making a lot of money at the bar. There's a good DJ, and that person's coming in, and bringing people. But I think that helps. I think adding value and kind of telling them, hey, like this is music. Kind of makes everything go around, puts people in a better mood, depending on what you're playing and when you're playing it. A good music curator can really make the night go. So, sorry, I'm giving you these long-winded answers.
You should be giving us these long-winded answers.
I feel
we got
like,
time.
Yeah, Yeah, no, I just think that it's important to kind of like say this is the value that I can give you.
So how do you quantify that value to a bar owner or a restaurant owner? Because I know everybody that walks in and says, I can do this at your place. You know, we've done a couple live, like we've had live music,
Right.
guys playing, and they're always like, I can come in and, you know, we can make a good night out of it. And I'm always like, no, I'm going to have a good night, whether you're there or not. You
Yeah.
want me to pay you, you know,
Right.
to play, and you're telling me that that's going to add value. So how do you quantify that? Because I've always struggled with it. Like, how do I know?
I think the term add value is a bad term to use because that's kind of what a lot of people like say.
Right.
You get emails, people are like, I can add
Yeah, I
value.
agree.
Like,
It's a bad task. Yeah.
Fuck off, you know, block. But asking questions, right? Like that's important. What do you want to know from? If, for example, since we're on the music topic, if I was to come into a restaurant and say, "Hey, I would love to be your DJ for a night," asking questions and saying exactly what they want from you, you know, and I think finding out what their struggles are. You know, DJs aren't promoters. That's the promoter's job. I could bring people. People might come to listen to music, but they're not. I'm not going to guarantee to pack Smokehouse, you know, or another restaurant. Everyone has to do their job, but
You could though.
I could. No, I mean, I could, but I think that's not. It's, you know, the music. It turns back to the music. There's a value that's important, and you have to find out. Talk to your owner. What do you want? What are you expecting from it?
And you just shed light on something else too. And because everyone works in a different type of business model, it's important to note too that you have nightlife that's really a club.
Business.
You have nightlife that's a bar that turns into kind of a club at night. That's more of like a mid-sized venue maybe, or even smaller than that.
Right.
And then you have restaurants that maybe once in a while they do something with live music on. And it's important for you, I think, as a DJ to note what the specific place is doing before you even pitch them something,
100%.
so you know how to attack.
You got to do your research and the history, and maybe go there a couple of nights and see what's up, and then you should kind of have an idea of what you want to do and what you want to ask them, and how you can actually add value to them. I mean, just adding music is great if you know what you're doing. It's a completely different vibe if whether they're getting like a live band or they're getting a DJ. I mean, the music's loud, it attracts people. It's fun. I mean, everyone loves music if it's done the right way. Going back to what you were saying with the laptop DJs is like, you know, anyone, people.
You key on doing it the right way, right? So you have to really focus on.
I was about to say, so do you have like a schedule when you're DJing a night? Do you say like at 10 p.m. I'm going to get a lot louder and more rambunctious with the music to get people onto the dance floor, or are we trying to like keep people shuffling back and forth between the bar?
Yeah, so I like to say I have over the time I had a good like, you know, read of the crowd and kind of have it determined, and also speaking with the owners and seeing what the kind of vibe I guess that they want. But yeah, I mean, let's just say for a nightclub, for example, right? You're starting at like, if you're doing the whole night, that's rare. But if you are, it's 11 to 4 basically, or 4:30 depending. And yeah, you want the first. People are just, it's like any party, right? People are mingling, hanging out. You want to get them over to the bar, get some drinks.
So like, what type of music are you playing for that?
So I'm basically an open format DJ, so it's kind of all over the board.
You have to be.
Yeah, and when I say open format, it's not like your new DJs today that are like hip hop, house, rock. It's like, you know, and I kind of get in trouble at a lot of the clubs because I just kind of play whatever I want to play, and that's why.
Going to bring that up. We'll touch on that in a second.
Yeah, but yeah. So to answer your question, I think it's kind of, as far as music, I don't think I have a specific genre, but relating to people. So whether it's Smash Mouth or Semi Charmed Life, or, you know, certain songs like that people can relate to. Or going back to, I got cool mixes. I could do a Sade mix with a hip hop beat. I mean, you just want people to be excited and happy the whole time, and it should be a wave, right? It should bring people back to, oh shit, I was in middle school when this came out, or high school, or I think that's the most important thing. There's not really, I have to curate each kind of event, so I don't really have a playlist. It will help.
Like a general thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So you change like speed, like the speed of the music based on like, hey, I want everybody to go to the bar right now.
Yeah. And when I'm allowed to speak at gigs, or most of the time, certain clubs, you know, depending on, sometimes I don't headline that often at some of the clubs, and when you're opening and closing, there's like, kind of got to stay your part, and you can't really, you know.
You can't play the top songs that are hot at that moment.
Well, that's never an issue when you know you know, I mean, there's songs that were.
Well, if you're not headlining,
you're not headlining,
other
right, but-
DJs would not appreciate that so much.
Oh, of course. No, there's definitely a DJ code, but any good DJ knows, like, I guess it's called burning, right? You don't want to burn the DJ after you with all. You don't want to play the newest, like.
Yo, you played that Nicki Minaj song
That
12
new
times.
shit,
I was
yeah.
ready for it.
Yeah, no, but it's you know, it's knowing the music and knowing the crowd and going back to like your music history. I mean, I could rock 5 hours on songs just from, you know, 2010, right? So you know, it's knowing what works. So yeah, now you have the 90s all the way up until 2020, depending on where you're doing. Yeah.
As a bartender, our money in that nightlife-ish atmosphere oftentimes depends on the DJ playing the records, and
Yep.
like we just said a second ago, the tempo or the BPM of the record matters, because
Right.
the faster the tempo is, the faster people are chugging their drinks and they're coming back to the bar to get more.
Right. You have to set it up though, right?
Correct.
There has to be that type of up and down and wave throughout the night. You want, you know, it's not going to be straight pumping EDM or straight hip hop the whole
But you
night.
would never let Celine Dion, "My Heart Will Go On," fly for anything more than like a 20-second laugh, if that, right? Like,
right. Yeah, and you just you do things to get reactions, and you know, when back to the point of when you can talk on the mic, you know, tip your bartenders, you know, go get. I mean, sometimes, you know, depending on what the spot is, but you know, just showing love to
I
the
think we
club.
all knew exactly where you're
Showing love to the. Oh, I went back to like the strip club days.
that reminder never helps.
But no, it was funny because they used to. I mean, and management and all that has a lot to do with, you know, certain restaurants and nightclubs and bars run, because they have their formula of how they want to do things, right?
Well, a lot of these places too, I'm sure you've been through this before. If you're in a hip hop set, like they'll clip you at 7 minutes, flip the format after that. You're getting 7 minutes right now.
Some
And that's
people
it.
don't know what the fuck is going on at all. Just because they're the managers or whatever. That's not putting on anyone specifically, but in general, they're not DJs. You know, like they don't come into the fucking kitchen and be like, "Yo, man, this burger sucks" or whatever. Like, fam, what do you know?
We should start allowing that though.
But I get it. That's their job. They have a part. They kind of just let people do what they got to do when it comes to that. You know, if they're good and they know what they're
a
doing.
lot of these strips concerned, at least around here by us, a lot of the strips concerned is if you're playing too much rap music and hip hop, that it's going to cause a fight scene or something, and guys are going to start acting tougher than they are.
Definitely played a couple of records that started fights. Yeah.
And I'm sure that was on your Set the Club on Fire crate.
That was it.
When
That was
the
the
promoter
one.
doesn't pay you a
He knows
promoter.
everything.
What was the number one song that started a fight?
Oh, Annie Up. Definitely. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I can see it. I
Yeah.
can definitely see it.
Yeah. It gets crazy.
In doing a transition from your younger years in showing up to you know little town bars into transitioning into a club where it's a lot different, I think, of a spectrum.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, a little town bar you might show up into and you look at their DJ booth and you're like, I've got to bring all my own shit, versus going into a club that has a lot more money behind them, that's set up to bring DJs in all the time, where the booth may be a little bit better.
Right.
Is there things that you have to bring in your toolkit just to be ready for?
So funny you said that. So my 10-year reunion of high school is coming up, right? And I think it's funny because touching on bars, I love like that music. The flexibility to actually be open format and play whatever you want to play is with, again, people that you can relate to, people you grew up with, and they're not putting me in a box. Like when I can play whatever I want really at a bar for the most part. Clubs, you're kind of stuck to this genre, depending on who you are as a DJ.
Or what their club night is.
What the
for
club
them.
night is, right. I know, that's why I don't do too many clubs. You know, I'm certain, it's like, I don't like really being put in a box. So I've been on a very difficult journey sometimes with like being allowed to play at certain clubs and not, and this and that.
And being open format, and from a business perspective, being open format allows you to get, I think, more business.
Yep.
So it's more quantity there.
Mm-hmm.
And also lets you do more corporate stuff, I'm sure, too, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
But in going into a club venue where it might be like Tony Touch Night downstairs, you may not be labeled in a certain genre of music where they go, nah, we can't mess with him because he doesn't really specialize in this specifically.
Well, that's kind of the thing that's like, I'm not the biggest fan of diners just because I feel like you just can't you can't make great Italian food and a good burger and then, I don't know, you're a chef. So
Yeah,
I know exactly
what you
every type
mean.
of food, you know?
That was so we talked about this last week, kind of. That was my exact argument against this thing called a ghost kitchen, where they'll take one kitchen and they'll operate a whole bunch of different concepts out of it. Kind of like a diner, but not. I mean, a diner's not quite as extreme.
Right.
But so I was telling Jay, there's like literally no way you could have one of those concepts and have the food be good, because how can you specialize in everything at the same time?
So I agree to some point. Also, depending on the chef, right? Like if you have if you have a really good chef that's experienced in, just like take for example, let's say off-premise catering, right? They do different types of events. They're not just making.
That's versatile. I see what
Right,
you're saying.
right.
You can put a lot of things under that one umbrella.
But you're right. For the most part, like
You can't do everything.
The guy that makes great tacos is not making amazing
the best pizza or something.
Right,
like that.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
So in your kit of things that you bring to the club,
I'm sorry, I never answer your question.
I was like, so what do you?
Yeah,
I said, so what do you bring to the club? And he goes, so diners.
If anyone, when people listen to this, they're gonna be like, that's definitely like gonna be like a meme or something. So back to the question.
I was just gonna let it go.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be prepared for anything. So whether that's, you mean as far as equipment?
I'm saying, what problems do you walk into? Because it's always different when you walk into a new spot. You don't know what their equipment's like. You don't know what conditions it's in.
Shouts to Fat Fingers. He taught me some scratching and some cool. And it was he kind of taught me that club and shortcuts that a bunch of people I know. But it's not just wow. Thank you. That's so great. Best gift ever.
Do you use those to scratch?
I love him.
I just handed him something.
This
what are
is
those?
Great. These are
those are for you. It's a gift.
That. Thank you so much. I got some amazing Technique needles, and they don't make these anymore.
Do they not? Oh,
They
give me
don't.
those back. I'm gonna need those for eBay later on.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
You know, well, explain what those are to.
So we have a stylus and we have a needle, and these are basically you're putting this on the turntable. If you're using actual turntables like 1200s, you're going to use these and you're going to scratch. So this is obviously important for people that don't use this. They're going to be using CDs or whatever, their laptop. So this is the key, man. This is where DJ started. So
you set that up perfectly when you brought up Fat Fingers.
Yeah, I did.
He gets this name. He gets this name because he's a master of scratching things. It's crazy. We'll have to put that up on the actual Instagram page because it's amazing to just watch these hand skills move around.
He's a fucking beast.
Insane.
Yeah. So now going back to your questions, thank you again for this. I'm gonna answer your question. So as far as
thank you for that.
Because I didn't know if like he was asking me or it was just like an intro, a segue to the gift. But yes, as far as equipment and things you have to bring, and like Fat Fingers was like telling me, I mean, there's a whole etiquette to like DJing in a club, like distractions. I mean, there's people coming up, there's girls think that there's a coat check, they think you're the bartender. There's just people.
Or Becky wants that song played.
Exactly.
Again.
And then Becky, listen, and most of the time there's people there that like could control that, but if there's not, and it's just like, hey Becky, I can't, and then her boyfriend comes over and that's the whole thing, and then the fight started over there, so the bouncer's not there, and he's like, yo man, I need my fucking song played. I'm like, and then the people that's like, here's like throwing in some money. You have to be, it's a crazy business. I don't think people look at it as a business. That's probably why I don't have a girlfriend, because it's like the craziest schedule, and you know, it's a career, it's a DJ, it's a job, but a lot goes into it, and I think people don't see, like, just like owning a restaurant and owning a company, the behind the scenes and the hours and hours and times that go into exactly what you want to do. That you know, you have to kind of show that, but people don't see. They just see, oh, you're at clubs popping bottles and the celebrities there, and right. It's just like going back to a restaurant.
Just like everything else, people only see the good
wants
stuff.
to see the content, but no one wants to see the work.
Exactly.
I'm doing a vlog, documentary type of thing of like my whole kind of evolution as a DJ. Even though I don't think I've really, I haven't made it where I want it to, but I think it's good to show the progression, the downs, the lows,
It's for sure
the
good to show
highs,
the
and-
progression.
yeah.
Because you've had a lot of progression, you know?
Yeah, and it's a good kind of lesson to learn that there wasn't a clear path of what I wanted to do, and now I do have one. So I think that's a big lesson to learn, even and owning your own business or when you're starting a restaurant, who do you want to attract? You want to cater to everybody? Do you want to only cater to certain?
Yeah,
So,
just like being clear in your path is important.
Like as far as like smokehouse, you obviously people can't go and get pizza there, right? Like
Well, you could for a little while.
Okay.
One time.
Yeah, so I guess
There was this one day.
It's like 2 weeks ago when this restaurant burned down.
It was
Yeah.
definitely a lot longer than a day when you could come to Smokehouse and get
Yeah,
pizza.
that's funny. Do
Super Bowl, the place caught on fire. If you didn't catch that.
yeah.
That's not what we were talking
That's not what
about.
we're talking about, actually.
Oh, I thought that
yes,
was the
that
day you had
was
pizza.
the people were getting pizza and coming in when that.
Oh.
But he's talking about we actually had
We had pizzas on the menu.
at one point.
Oh
Yeah.
Remember when you designed the menu with the pizza on it?
no,
Stone Fire pizzas.
no.
You did do that.
I have the worst short-term memory. You know,
Good
anybody.
thing that was like 4 years ago.
Anyway, to tie it back in, just like you were saying,
Gotcha.
we realized that wasn't the right way to go, so we
Right.
focused.
Yeah.
And do you think that you're missing? Like, you think you can get a lot of? You guys are doing phenomenal with the branding and the marketing and the business, but because I know because
the reverse interview.
because no, I know because I love it because it's so simple. You should see these fucking restaurants you drive by that doesn't make any sense when you're driving. You know,
Ignore
So-
this monkey over here.
so no, because I was saying it's great. Well, because he found his niche and what he wants to do. But do you feel like you're ever missing out on people that want other types of food? Like if someone doesn't,
No.
like, no, okay,
No.
Yeah.
I used to, now I don't.
right. So it's just
Yeah.
that you have like that lane that you're going in, and that's it.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah,
like we
sure.
talked about this a couple of episodes ago. It's about like finding what you want people to come to you for.
Yeah. Make
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah,
What
make
you
people want
people to want.
exactly,
Right, and
exactly.
make-
And you
right.
put that out there and you do it well, and that's all you need
You
to
do
do.
the social media great too. The pictures are
Thanks.
always Whoever
He-
you do them right.
He's improving on that. I almost said we're improving, but he's improving on that.
We're a team. Okay, we are
Yes,
as
okay.
one improving on this.
We are growing in the social media aspect.
Speaking of that,
He does well now.
You're like a little bit of a burger snob, right?
I love burgers. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that. I don't know if you notice, if you follow him, every once in a while,
Yeah?
he'll post like a burger from different places.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
All right, wait.
you were doing like your own burgers at one point. I saw
your-
you.
What's your favorite burger right now?
So let's see. I was
Not
at,
just local, just like in
yeah.
general.
So I was at iPick, and they had this thing. Chef Capon, I think that's how you say his
Capon,
name.
yeah,
Josh
yeah.
Capon.
Yep.
Yep. Shouts to him. He made a really cool burger, and I was obsessed with that for a while. And then there's different burgers. Schweid and Sons.
Sweet and Sons. Yeah, yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah.
the meat.
Yeah, I try to kind of make my own burgers and take different meats, and
I'd like you to come down and try our new burger. Then.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, Smokehouse is the
No,
go-to
not
for
Smokehouse.
sure.
No, his spot.
Yeah.
Your spot.
I'm not at Smokehouse anymore.
What's this burger comprised of? Nooms?
So our new burger is a revisit to our first burger, which is a French onion soup burger.
Oh, awesome.
So we're buying like a quarter of a cow. We grind it up ourselves. So that's where the meat comes from. So you're getting a little bit of all sorts of different cuts from the cow. The burger is topped with tubby cheese. That's what it's called. It's a local cheese, local to, I believe, like Brooklyn or something like that. Then a French onion jus. So like an onion sauce made with dry aged beef fat, chopped onions. I believe there's some cognac in there as well. The burger is topped with tempura fried onion rings.
Gotta
and it's
try it.
super nice. It's
Yeah.
a super nice burger.
What makes a good burger, in your opinion?
A good patty is made up of a good blend of beef, so it's not going to be just one straight cut of meat. Outside of that, you for sure need a good sturdy bread, not something like a seeded white roll that's going to get soggy and fall apart. A nice brioche or something similar. Doesn't have to be brioche. Brioche is good because it's a little bit sweet. Other than that, you want a nice sharp cheese that's going to stand out and not get lost in all the like juiciness of the burger. Some sort of good sauce that's going to add a little bit of acidity, some sort of like extra flavor to contrast between the meat and the cheese, and then not too much else after that. Like you don't want too many other toppings like lettuce, onions, and not too much of it at least. But I mean,
Bun to patty ratio
bun to patty ratio is
is the
important.
underrated hero of the burger.
Yeah.
And so for all of you, when you're getting your burger cooked, what are you getting at?
What do you think I am? A serial killer?
Truthfully, it depends on where I'm getting the burger from, but I'm medium rare to medium. Never higher than medium.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I wouldn't go lower than medium rare, and medium rare depends on where I'm getting it from.
It's really tough in this industry too when somebody orders something that's well done. I know Noom said he doesn't get offended by it at all, but I do.
I don't.
Yeah.
Because I just think about it in my head, and I go, "Why would you want to
But people
eat it
aren't
like that?"
educated on it. That's why.
People
That's why
are
I love
educated,
that you guys are
and
doing
you also don't
this.
know everybody's story. So I don't know if I told you about this. I think I did. This happened when I was working in Mamaroneck one time. Somebody, I think it was on a Sunday. Michaela was working. She was the one who brought the ticket into the kitchen, and this like changed my perspective on like questioning people on their orders and whatnot. Ticket comes in. It's for a steak and mashed potatoes and like fried onions the whole way we serve our steak. But then Michaela comes in and she's like, "This is gonna be weird. You can say no if you're busy and you don't have time. I get it, just whatever. But I got to tell you." Apparently, the person wanted us to put their entire like steak meal in the blender, and I was like, "Okay." But then she went on to tell me why, and it was because the dude just had a stroke and he couldn't chew, but he really wanted our food, and I was like, "Okay." So at first, I was about to just be like, "No, get the fuck out of here with this like retarded request," but then she told me, and I was like, "All right." So like you kind of gotta give people a chance a little bit, like especially if somebody like really wants your food. Like,
What if they had a bad experience at a restaurant when they ordered something that they thought was going to be medium rare, and is it too rare? Maybe.
Yeah, you never know. They could be scarred.
yeah, exactly. So I mean,
Judging you on someone else's mistake.
if they're paying for it,
Fucked up,
you just
right? I wouldn't do that, but I think that.
What are some of the restaurants that you're kind of looking at right now, and you're like, "Hey, this is one of my favorite places to be." And don't say Smokehouse. I'll punch you in the neck.
Burger and Barrel is great, and that's in the city.
Yeah, I've heard of Burger and Barrel.
Yeah,
But it's
surprisingly.
Cape Town again, right?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
spot,
that's the spot. Yeah, I don't really go to a lot of burger restaurants to be
No, it
honest.
doesn't have to be a burger spot.
Oh, just
Where are you
restaurants
showing
in
up?
general.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man, I really cook. I honestly, I cook my own food a lot.
Good for you.
I haven't been going out. Yeah,
Awesome. I think that's
That's
also
the worst answer for like this podcast, but
It's not though. You can't go out every single night.
It's honest.
There's
Stop,
people that-
stop selling lies.
there's
Go out
definitely
every
people-
night, twice a day, lunch, dinner.
Well, there's people that don't cook, right? And I
Right.
think
Us
that's
do
a
it for
huge
you.
expense to them at the end of the day.
well,
I
when
mean,
the food, sometimes the food's paid for depending on where.
yeah. And when I'm cooking at home too, I get in a competition with myself where I go, how cheap can I put together an awesome meal
That's a nice.
and
burger.
get that serving size down or that serving cost down to like $2 or something like that, or $2.50. And then I go, shit, I just produced an awesome thing to eat at home where I would have paid 18 to 24 bucks in a restaurant for this.
Serafina too. Serafina is super good. They had a great burger that I got there. If you are, let's say, making a home burger, how would you go against, like, I guess, going to get the meat for it? Like, you wouldn't, for people that don't know about, you wouldn't go to, like, Stop and Shop or, like, something and just get, like, their ground
Well,
meat.
see, here's the thing now.
Okay, well,
Stop and Shop on Palmer Avenue, New Rochelle.
No
they
offense
sell
to Stop and Shop.
they sell the Schweid and Sons beef. You can buy.
Oh, that I've, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I've
just
done that
saying
too.
they're actual, like, just going to a,
Probably wouldn't do that.
no, right? Because you don't know where the cuts are from. And,
Yeah,
Can I give you guys my burger recipe and you can shit on me all you want?
yeah, please.
So I'll go to Stop and Shop.
Okay.
They're going to be our sponsor in like 3 months, okay?
See, now I'm, like, never going
So
back on the show.
I go to Stop and Shop, and I'll grab 80-20 beef, and I'll chop up red onion, finally.
Are you one of
I'll put
those
that in there.
like maniacs that mixes the onion into the burger?
Yep, totally. And but
You should
like
see
you
these
said
faces
before,
right now.
the bun to burger ratio, you also have to have an appropriate onion to beef ratio also.
What else?
It's important not to overshine.
Yeah, you
What
put
else
the
do you
onion
put
on top of
in the
patty.
burger?
A little
On the onion.
a little light garlic chopped up as well. Okay? And then a little parsley. Boom. Done deal. Little
In the
barbecue
patty.
sauce on top. Little barbecue sauce on top. And then I throw that mustard cheese on top of
How
that
many
thing.
times do you
Monster
see
cheese.
people serve grilled parsley?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
I haven't seen
I'm
it.
just saying
Just
that
saying.
these are
Because that's what you're
things-
doing.
If you talk about my mother like this one more time, all right? I was raised on these recipes, and they're fantastic.
So you're grilling this or you're putting it in a pan?
I'm putting this on a cast iron.
Got it. And what are you doing? 3 minutes?
Probably about. Well, I like a thick patty also here.
So how big of a patty are we
you
talking about?
This is a learning experience.
I don't know.
from
How big
from
would you
the
say this
best of the
patty
best.
is? Because I have to let this thing cook on each
I
side
would
for
say
about
6
4
to 8
minutes.
ounces. Yeah, 6 to 8 ounces. Then.
Like 4 minutes on each side gets me mid-rare to mid, probably.
So the only reason I wouldn't put things into the burger patty is because you're not going to be sure exactly where they end up inside the patty. So let's say you put something like garlic in the patty and it ends up on the outside layer that's on the cast iron pan. That garlic's going to burn. You're going to have this burnt, acrid garlic flavor on the outside of your burger. So that's the only reason I wouldn't do things like that.
Science.
See, and this is why we have a chef in the room, so he could scold me every time I do dumb shit in the kitchen.
I mean, unless you're looking for that flavor.
I was scolding you too. I just didn't have a reason for it.
So what are you doing with your burgers then?
Yeah, so I'm definitely getting like Schweid & Sons is good. I just got the Wahlburgers recently.
How was it? I haven't had those.
It was
yet.
good.
Yeah.
Shouts to Mark Wahlberg and the whole family.
Have you been there?
No.
Wahlburgers?
No.
Big in
Shouts to
Boston. though.
Boston.
I know.
Yeah.
You would think I would have been there.
Yeah, no, they were good. I kind of have this whole like 3.5 minutes medium temp, on the pan. I don't know. I'm no chef, but I make it work.
You're cooking though.
Yeah, it was good. It's good. I haven't got sick, so that's good. I guess I'm doing.
That's
it
always a good thing.
All right, Ryan, tell them where to find you. You're going on tour also soon.
I am going.
Where are you
on
going?
Tour. So I got booked through Virgin Voyages. This is
Richard Branson's company.
Richard Branson's company.
Have you met him?
Really, I will. Well, yeah, we have a bunch of press and events we're doing. It's going to be going from his private island to Miami to New York. They collaborate with hotels tonight, so it's pretty cool. People are going to be hanging out on the ship for like a day or two. It's just kind of chilling and before it takes off. I think it's just such cool as a boat. The boat is amazing. So. You can find me at DJ Ryan Vandal on Instagram and across all social media platforms. And my website will be up soon before the boat leaves. The actual site.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's just a temporary holding
before the
page.
tour. Yeah, it's I have to keep it
Gotcha.
up to date.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's it. I have a lot of music coming out, original music, and yeah. Shouts to you guys, coolest podcast, and that's it. It's Ryan Vandal. I'm out. Peace.
Like what you've heard? Hit that follow button to the podcast so we can land in your audio platform's new release section. Really like what you've heard? Share the show with a friend in this industry. Besides, all growth starts from the ground.